And 5, 4, 3, 2. What up, y'all? Welcome to Here's the Thing. I'm Kevin on stage. She's
the chick angel.
Hey,
Remember the
cheese.
podcast. Smash that like button, smash that notification button. Welcome to Here's the Thing. Today is Sunday, January 12th. If you're wondering why, if something happened in the world later, we'll catch it on the bonus. We are shooting this because it is churchy week, and I'm on tour this week, and we couldn't get into the studio together, but we are together electronically. Quick church announcements this week. If you're watching this on Wednesday, tomorrow I'll be in Fort Lauderdale. Friday I'll be in
Still in Florida.
Yeah, I'm trying to get their city right. Okay. Thursday, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale. Friday, Orlando. Saturday, Tampa. Sunday, Jacksonville. At the current pace, all 4 of these cities will sell out. And that's crazy. I never sell well in Fort Lauderdale. Literally never, ever. Never, ever. So that will be a sweet blessing from the Holy Spirit of God. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Angel, church announcements.
Church announcements. 2 church announcements. 1, your girl has been nominated for another NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Podcast, Lifestyle, and Self-Help. Please, if you don't mind, going over to the NAACP Image Awards. I do believe it's .net/vote, something of that sort. We're at the very bottom of the ballot. Get in there, click on, is this going to cause an argument, and cast your vote. You can vote 1 time per email address. So use all of your email addresses, please. And some of your coworkers. Thanks. And second, Mama Likes has a affirmation and therapy journal box that is out right now. Going over to Shop Mama Likes to get it before it's gone. Praise God.
I'm just showing the world that we are always working. We're shooting the main episode for Here's the Thing. I got my lights plugged up. You can see the San Diego submarina in the background because the work don't stop. Yes, we had a show last night. Yes, we have a show tonight. Yes, I'm shooting church tomorrow. But that Here's the Thing podcast, we going to shoot that as well. Amen. And my lights are plugged up because I didn't charge them. But God still sits on the throne. All right. Mm-hmm. First, before we get into the Meg Thee Stallion thing, a lot of you were concerned about us in LA this week. The fires. We all had our own different situations. Angel, do you want to talk about your experience? I'll talk about mine. Big Washer, you talk about yours?
So, the world is on fire. Since Tuesday, we have been housing people. So we had 3 households staying with us here. We called it Fire, Bed, and Breakfast. We had 2 air mattresses in our living room. We had somebody staying in the guest or the office that I'm sitting in now. Had people sleeping on couches. It was like the biggest adult and child sleepover ever outside of a church lock-in. Most of the people who stayed with us was originally just because their electricity had been turned off. So they were waiting for that to be turned on. Then as the days progressed, I do believe it was Thursday, and arsonists started a fire not too far from where I live. So between where I live and where my mother lives, the one blessing of being living where I live is that I live further north and the winds are traveling south. So most, not all, most of the fires are actually creeping south versus coming back up north. But unfortunately that meant that it was traveling towards my mom's house. And she had sent me a picture that one of the people from our HOA sent her because they were supposed to go back to her house that day to get some stuff they left. And she sent me a picture and I was like, that can't be right because that means the fire is in front of your house. like directly in front of your house, like got touch fire. And then I was like, well, let me go look on the news because people probably pulling pictures from other folks' neighborhoods. And then when I was looking on the news, I was like, the helicopter is above your house shooting video of the fire coming towards it. So I was like, Mama, your house might be gone. I said, I have no idea. Your house might not be. And that unfortunately broke my poor little mama down. She was just like, I just need to watch some. You got USA Network. She was just like, I need to watch something else because she'd been working this entire time. She took over little Marcus's bedroom and she'd been working her butt off. And she was like, I'm done working. I'm gonna watch USA.
What is it on the USA Network?
All the television shows, USA Network, they give you a little drama, but not too much. It's always gonna wrap up.
I ain't never heard nobody say, you know what I need in the time of need. I got to have my USA Network. I got to have
it. What it was, I turned on Apple TV for her because she was like, "Can I watch TV in your room?" I said, "Go ahead." And she turned it on, and she saw the USA symbol. She said, "You got the USA channel." Said, are you serious?
Is it all their programming is just right up her alley?
Yes.
Does she like Law and Order?
No, she's not a Law and Order girl. It's like
because I felt like that's the only reason people go to the USA's.
No, they used to have Burn Notice.
I was gonna ask you, she watching Burn Notice at a time like this?
Well, no, she not watching Burn Notice, but I'm saying it's that type of vibe. What's that other thing called? We getting the Burn Notice. They had that. Is it suits?
No, shirts. Shirts is the new one.
I love some Suits.
Love shirts.
Suits, Reboot's coming. Yeah, she liked that type of stuff. What's that one with the person who could see the future? I can't remember. It
Criminal Minds.
It was the black dude.
No, what is that one called?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can't think of the name. Is it Monk? No, he was the OCD.
No,
Mentalist.
Is it Mentalist with the black dude and the white dude?
No, is
Psych.
that USA?
No, it's Psych. It's Psych, y'all.
Psych.
You got to get a little more fun. Mentalist.
All the USA shows, have you noticed their names are very similar in style?
Yeah.
Suits,
they don't want to give these
shirts. Psych.
Because they know it's older people watching a lot of times, and they don't want to give them too many things to have to memorize. It's real short, one syllable. So anyways, but blessed be the name of the Lord. The firemen were able to keep all the houses safe from that fire. So my mother's house safe, but she's still staying with us because the air quality is terrible over there. So bad. Everyone moved out of my house besides her and my nephew as of yesterday. So yeah, it has just been and yesterday night bought about $700 worth of stuff to go deliver to firemen. Tomorrow, well, actually not tomorrow. I'm gonna do it. Tomorrow. I'm gonna do it on Monday, because my kids still in school. My kids will still be out of school. Yeah, and I got my nails done too. You see that?
It looks like fire.
It is. That's what he drew on my nails. This wasn't the initial design, but it looked like fire. And he said, "I'll draw flames." And I said, "You know what? We're gonna fight fire with fire." But actually, yeah.
That angel superhero move is one of my favorite things that's ever come out of this podcast. Okay, I'll go. Go ahead. For me, Mel and the girls came and sheltered in place. There was an arsonist who started a fire near a park that Greg takes the girls to. That was Friday, I believe. And they got their first official evacuation notice. At this time, because there was no wind by the day. So I'll give you some context as to why the fires were so bad early in the week. And they are still so bad, but they were more prepared to be attacked later in the week. The valley where Angel and I live is notorious for really windy winters. I don't know what it is, why it is. I'm not a meteorologist, but every winter the winds blow crazy. That doesn't tend to spread all over LA, but in this instance, it did spread all over LA. So from what the news is saying, the big Pacific Palisades fire, the one that basically decimated the neighborhood, was started by this is what the news is saying, alleged. I don't want to be in a documentary. Somebody had a fire in their backyard that wasn't properly contained. Very windy. The wind picks up the fire, throws it at other places. And obviously, LA is a very dry land. We have not had a lot of rain. I think since like May of last year. I don't think it might have rained at all.
It's been a year.
It's been like an off and on year. Like the year last year was raining every day for like a month, which is very unusual for May. But LA is really susceptible to wildfires because there's a lot of brush, a lot of dry land. We spend a lot of time in a drought. So the Pacific Palisades fire burned a lot of stuff. And there was another big fire called the Eaton Fire in Altadena, Pasadena area. Altadena is a historically Black neighborhood. I did not know that until the fire. I don't spend a lot of time in Altadena. It's really far from where I live. But we were shooting Churchy in that area. So we had to push a day of shooting because the location was kind of near the fires. So this is my first time ever producing anything that has been impacted by a natural disaster. We actually had to push 2 days of shooting because the church that we shoot in was in the evacuation zone. So we couldn't shoot there Friday. The day we were shooting, one of the worst things ever happened on set. There was a evacuation warning that bleeped on everybody's phone on set, like how the Amber Alert does. So we're all freaking out because usually they're like based on your neighborhood. And so we all have this app on not all, but a lot of us have this app on our phone called Watch Duty that, like, I'll show you. It kind of shows you where the fires are, right? So the Pacific Palisades fire is down here. It's like right now 23,000 acres. The Eaton fire is up here. That's Pasadena, Altadena, and that's currently at 14,000 acres. Some of these are like 395, 799. So when that alarm went off, we all pull up this app and are trying to figure out where the new fire is. Lo and behold, it was a mistake by the city of LA, and there was no new fire. It was just an accident. So like within, 10 or 15 minutes, they were like, oh, basically our bad. Nothing new to report here. Yeah, they did this. So this isn't funny, but it actually is funny. Y'all saw me wearing that unit for Churchy. I'm not going to explain what happens. You need to watch Churchy to see why my character wears that. But I was wearing that the day that we got the false information. And when that happened, I had to give a speech to the entire crew and cast, very seriously deciding if we wanted to shoot or not. And I had that wig on with all that Beijing in my head.
Seems right. It only seems right to me.
It only seems right, Angel, that I had a head full of wig. And I'm seriously like, hey guys, we got to come together. You got to decide what we want to do. Totally understand all that stuff. So that was just funny. Funny moment. But other than that, I've spent my week checking the news religiously and donating to GoFundMe's. DZ, who's very near and dear to us, worked with me and Josh. He was one of my interns who did get me lunch.
You talking about Denzel? You talking about Denzel?
Denzel, Gangsta Green Light. Him and his girlfriend, Serena. Their entire house burned down. They lost their house. Yes, they lost their house, their cars, everything.
Sevy's school is gone.
Yeah, his daughter's school is gone.
Cars were gone. Where were their cars? So their cars were parked at home. They weren't able to.
I think one of their cars is gone. I think they evacuated in one car, but left the other car. That burned down. He said he got the evacuation notice at 6 to be gone by 8. They left at 8. Woke up at 8 the next morning. Their neighbor had drove by, and it was burned to the ground. So I spent the better part of the week, like most people in LA, donating to GoFundMe's all up and down the wazoo.
Send me his. I didn't know his is burnt down. Send me his.
His GoFundMe?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, want to make sure they were okay. They are now safe and sheltered. And just like wildfires are not actually terribly, terribly new to living in LA, but them becoming structural fires is new. And that is from my time in LA, and people who, even native Angelenos, were like, look, I've been in LA my whole life. This is as bad as it's ever been. This is not usual. Because like the Malibu fire was huge, but like it burnt down like a lot of vegetation and stuff and wineries, but like that Pacific Palisades neighborhood is gone. A good chunk of Altadena is gone. People are dying. We're dying. Are dead. So anyway, we are grateful for life. And the day we did shoot on Thursday, it was like, as an artist and creative, in times of tragedy, it was a blessing to be able to do what we do, but it was also like needed, because otherwise we were just at home watching the news of like just taking in hours and hours of like the worst news ever, checking new fires sprouting up. And like we had started to be like, okay, now this doesn't make sense, because
very much so.
A wildfire growing in one area makes sense, especially if you have the winds, the plains, that makes sense. But another fire clear across the city, just starting, I'm like, now the winds,
and the way the winds blow from the desert, they're easterly winds, right? So they're blowing across. Pacific Palisades is on the most western part of LA. For it to go to Pasadena and Altadena is miles and I know embers fly, of course. Embers fly with the wind.
But not that is like, that's about a 30 to 40 mile stretch.
Absolutely. The other direction of the wind.
Okay, you all know that since it's wintertime, the days are shorter. So what does that mean? You're getting less vitamin D because, baby, where did the sun go? Okay, so it's not in your diet. The vitamin D is not in your diet the way it should be, and you need to focus on that. 97% of women ages 19 to 50 are not getting enough vitamin D from their diet. Rituals Essential for Women 18 plus has shown to increase vitamin D levels by 43% in a clinical study. I absolutely love taking Ritual. It's a part of my morning routine. It's so simple. I only have to take 2 capsules. It's absolutely gentle on my stomach because sometimes it takes me a long time before I get my breakfast in me. So if I'm taking it on an empty stomach, I don't want to be nauseous or anything like that. And I have no problems. Only about 1% of supplement brands on the market have a USP verified mark, which shows that the product contains the ingredients actually listed on the label. Ritual uses scientific tools to select lower carbon packaging, prioritize sustainable sourced ingredients, and set ambitious climate goals. Ritual is a female-founded B Corp, meaning they are holding themselves accountable to not just their company's financial health, but also the health of people and our planet. No more shady business. Ritual for Women 18 plus is a multivitamin you can actually trust. Get 25% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/crew. Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/crew for 25% off.
Yes. And then there's just like a fire near the Hollywood sign. Then there's just a fire here. And they were like literally catching people. Because at some point I'm like, okay, now at this point, somebody is setting these. It got to be somebody setting these.
Oh, 100%. When the Kenneth fire started, and because I know you got to tell us too. When the Kenneth fire started, I was working out and I got that alert. And I said, I'll be damned. I said, ain't no way. I was like, I know the wind ain't blowing that much. I can feel it's not blowing that much because y'all know our house screams at us when the wind is blowing loud.
Yes,
there was
so does mine.
Yeah, it does all the screaming.
My house be screaming at night.
You never told us your house screams too.
Oh my gosh.
My rain gutters rattle
through the stove and screams out of the vent.
Oh, it only screams in one place. We have multiple scream zones, but it's all in the back of the house. So if you sleep up here in the front of the house, you don't hear it. But if you're in the back of the house, you're at a witches convention. Yeah. Yeah. But sorry, go ahead, Josh.
Gratefully, since with all the jokes of how far I live in Israel and Vietnam, I am out of the way of this one. However, but a lot of almost all the stations in Ventura County are also helping because it is the neighboring county to LA. I do have some family that evacuated from Pasadena. Their house is okay. They're actually, I was on uncle duty. I had to watch my nieces on one of the churchy mornings because they went back to help their community. Because what's really, I mean, it's very bittersweet. This is probably one of the moments in time where I can only remember LA as a whole unify the way it's doing right now. The way they're showing up for each other at community centers, donating to families that lost everything, as well as people showing up for firefighters. These firefighters are working crazy shifts. They don't have like, it's not like they don't have food, but they need stuff that like Angel and them is bringing, water, high protein snacks, things like that. But gratefully, some of my people are good, but then some of my people lost everything. I'm really sad as well that these school, like there was a few schools that burned down. And for me, I just think about like these when these kids go to school, this is their everything. This is their normal daily routine. And a lot of parents can't just not have their kids in a school. So I think about what their day-to-day is going to look like in the near future. A lot of, you said LAUSD still out, Angel?
I don't know about LAUSD. I'm pretty sure they are. The twin school specifically is still, the Marcus and Little Marcus school specifically is out on Monday as well already, you know.
It's just such a eerie time to be in LA. Like you feel the weight. And to be honest, the Palisades fire is coming east and north now. It's not even out yet. They are doing their best to contain forward progress. But now it's going kind of back towards the 405 and the valley. Like the valley in Encino, they're starting to get evacuation warning notices. And that billow of smoke you could see all around the county. It's not just like, oh, there's a fire over there. I think you can see it no matter where you're driving. And I'm not getting into politics about what could have been saved, what isn't, but it is the loss in Los Angeles is catastrophic. And that is really, I've been in Southern California my entire life. We get fires every year. This is the most destructive fire I've ever seen. And it is very sad.
It is very,
I'm literally dealing with people from the production. Like, brother, I need to work, but I'm in evacuation zone. Like it's crazy. And we need, you know, LA gets a bad rap for being like only industry. Nobody cares about people. But this tragedy, I've seen more care, community, people open up their houses, opening up. It's like, if you got it, you give it. And if you need it, it's there. My house, income, food, clothes, come to my house. Also, can I go to your house? Like there was a time where Mel and them were like, it looked like it was coming by our house. So they were like, okay, y'all come here. And then it was like their house, we come there. If Angel and them needed to come to our house, it was gonna be, we ain't finna die, but we gonna be in here. And I never felt that I wouldn't have had somewhere to go. Fun little interesting interaction. My oldest, Isaiah, was like, hey man, because they're scared, obviously. You know, Joe tried to be cool. Isaiah, he'd be like, well, hey, he came to me one night and he was like, so do you have a plan? If we have to evacuate, do you know where we need to go? Do we have enough money? Do you know, like, what's our evacuation plan? And I was like, he was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know where to go. He was like, why don't you know where to go? You're a parent. I was like, I don't, just because I'm a parent, I'm supposed to know where to go?
Yes.
No, sir, I don't know. Depend on where the fire is, brother. I don't know. Maybe downtown, maybe not downtown. He was like, but you're the parent. And so I need to call my dad. Dad, what you think? What you clocking, brother? I've never been in no wildfire disaster neither. You hear me? You got any ideas? I'm all ears. Why y'all think just because I had you, I got a plan? I just
Because
had
that's what
sex.
it's supposed to be.
I
That's
ain't
what
had
it's
no
supposed
evacuation plan, brother. I am
every
young.
pump should be another plan piece falling into place.
He
We
was
can't.
like, "Are you being serious?" Yes, man. I'm being serious. Melissa, boy, Melissa. It's not funny because she was freaking out, but it is funny. This girl was like, it was looking like we was going to have to evacuate. We kept getting these. We got another incorrect evacuation notice the next day at 4 a.m. Phone's going crazy. We're checking. So our plan was to go downtown if we had to evacuate. We're looking at hotels and stuff like that. Melissa was like, "Okay, I need to cook. I need to cook." And I'm like, "We going to evacuate downtown?" It's like they. The crazy thing is, other parts of LA are operating as if nothing is wrong.
Correct.
Like businesses are open. You know, it's like LA is a really huge city, and large areas are impacted. Air quality is bad. Other areas are not touched at all, and it's like, for all intents and purposes, business as usual. So it's not like it felt like the whole city on fire, but it wasn't really like the whole city's on fire. So Melissa's like, "I gotta cook," and I'm like, I'm on set, and I'm like, "Listen, I don't think you have to cook," you know. And she's like, "We gotta pack. We gotta bring Monty. Bringing Monty means what hotels you can go to are limited, and that's really one of the reasons we didn't go. We was like, "What about Monty?" He was like, "Roof, I gotta go with y'all, right?" So she packs all the stuff, getting ready to take Monty. She's like, I'm like, "Listen, I don't think you need to cook." She's like, "I'm a cook." So she makes some chicken and rice, Spanish chicken and rice. So when I come home, we decide not to evacuate because the evacuation things were wrong. I'm texting her, I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming home. Is that chicken and rice good?" She was like, "Actually, I had a lot going on. I burnt that. So I want you to go ahead and order something." I did burn that, I did burn that chicken and rice. Came home. That pot, and she said, "I had a lot going on, Kev. I was packing the clothes, I was packing the dog up. The boys had clothes everywhere." Melissa's like, "Essential items." Isaiah's like, "Okay, my PS5." She said, "Boy, essential." He said, "Do
That
you
is
know how
essential.
long I've worked on this? I've worked on this data for years. It is essential."
That's for his
The
mental
boy had
health.
the PS5 in the suitcase, no drawers in there. You is focused on the wrong thing, sir. That's not essential. Clothes, drawers, toothpaste, socks. So then it was just so stupid. I came home. He's trying to plug the PS5 back up. I'm about to get in the shower and take this stupid wig off. And he asked me to help him. And I can't get this HDMI cord. I spent 30 minutes with this wig half off my head, helping him get his PS5 going until we realized the HDMI cord was bad. And that's why it wasn't working. It was just a long day. But all in all, very grateful that we go ahead. Amy.
The exact opposite thing happened with you and Zay Zay. We ended up with my good friend Marquita Bradley because her sister called her and was like, "Do you have a plan?" She was like, "I'm going to go to the person who I know has a plan." She's like, "Marcus, I'm on my way." She was like, "That blessed." Some of my friends are so not prepared for any type of disaster. Because we bought a generator back when the world ended in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, okay, I see what's happening. The zombies are on their way. Marcus, go get a generator." So we've had a generator. Our power didn't go out at all during this. But it was so funny how many of our friends were like, "Now, what is it that you all are going to do?" I was like, "If the fires come this way, we are going to Anaheim." I said, "I'm taking my kids to Disneyland." I said, "Because listen here, what we're not going to do is sit here and think about, did our house burn down? We're going to talk to Megan. We're going to talk to Tiana. Okay, that's what we're going." And so our friends staying at the house were like, "So we're all going to Disneyland? We are all going to Disneyland." They were like, "Yeah, just understand, where you go, I go." I was like, "Okay, bet." So yeah, it was a different thing. It was people looking at us like, if you all don't have a plan, nobody has a plan. Let me tell you what, these 4 kids is gonna be somewhere they're supposed to be. That's what I did.
Listen, all jokes aside, obviously, I'm a comedian first, so I took the opportunity to take the joke. But I was like, okay, the way this is looking, downtown has not been impacted at all. Vegas is an option as well. I bought a generator when the world ended as well. I bought survival backpack. I got survival backpacks
I remember when those were on sale.
I mean, these are like, if the world is over and you don't like, let me tell you what anxiety and fear does. I am prepared for every situation. If I need to build a shelter in these backpacks, it's got, build tent stuff,
Build a tent.
flares, water purifying tablets. Like if we have a zombie apocalypse and I got to go to the lake and purify the waters of Lake Minnetonka. But I was just like, I don't think we have to do this. And Isaiah be freaking out. And I just thought it'd be funny to mess with him.
Why you do that?
It's hard to plan for wildfires sprouting up. Actually, it's hard to plan for arsonists. Wildfires, you know, for the most part, if you're in a residential neighborhood, a lot of those areas, there's not my neighborhood, there is mountains around it. So if a wildfire or an arsonist got there, you would be in great danger. But there's a lot of areas of LA there that it's just like urban, city. And because it's such a large city, there's a lot of places, but I was like, we probably have to go downtown. We can go to Vegas. And the thing is, a lot of times what's hard for people, and this is what kind of frustrated me about Hurricane Katrina and the fires, people don't understand a lot of times. It's when it goes to my next thought too. And did we get you, Josh?
Yeah, briefly. I was going to touch on one more thing, but you're good.
Okay. People don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I'll get it in. Go ahead.
Okay. People don't understand that, like, I am blessed that means are not the issue for my family, right? We can fill up on gas. We can get a hotel. We can go places. That's not the issue. That is not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have fill the gas tank up. I can get a hotel in Vegas or Arizona or Phoenix or downtown or a hotel. I can't get a hotel at all.
Some people don't leave because of that.
Yes, that's what happened to Hurricane Katrina. It happens in a lot of natural disasters. People, it is an expensive world. A lot of people, and I was like this for a large part of my life too, with kids. We didn't have, and people still don't have, unexpected emergency financing, right?
No.
A lot of people just have enough to make it to the next day, waiting for the next check, got food for the next day. You don't have buy supplies, be displaced for 2 or 3 days, and then buy food at that place or Uber Eats. Like, a lot of people need to be able to cook and eat the food they have in their refrigerator. It's like you're not prepared to evacuate, right? You don't have nowhere to go. You don't have, unexpected income necessary. And there was a lot of things online of like, well, these people in LA are rich. Not everybody in LA is rich. And we need to clarify eat the rich, because even, yes, people in the Pacific Palisades, those houses are a lot, but also California real estate has boomed crazy. A lot of those people bought that house 20, 30 years ago when they weren't crazy prices, and now it's worth a lot, but they don't, a lot of them still, obviously there's rich people there, right? But it's not the case for everybody. But them people they have nothing, and their wealth was in that house, right? Even amongst actors, like one of the things in the docket is Jaimon Hounsou talking about, like, people think I'm rich. I'm a working actor. I'm not wealthy. I still need to find work. And when we talk about eat the rich, we need to be specific about, like, the billionaires who are crazy, even people who are doing okay. I don't think a lot of people know this. I didn't know this. Maybe you did. When your house burns down, you still have to pay the mortgage. If you still have a mortgage, you still have to pay the mortgage.
That bank loan is still due.
Yes, you still have to pay the mortgage, and you also have to pay the hotel. You have to wait. If there's a natural disaster, if your insurance pays out, it's not immediate. So you got to find a place to live, eat. You got to file for insurance. You got to be temporarily housed, whether with friends, family, hotel. Like, and I don't know if y'all know, it's been in the news a lot. A lot of insurance companies have been pulling out of California totally, and a lot of fire policies have been being pulled. So it's not as simple as people who don't live here have made it seem. And obviously it's not everybody, but like, people were so quick to politicize it. It wasn't even, the fires are still burning. Like, people made it political and they're immediately, which tends to happen in America. This is not unusual, but the fires were still actively burning. They're like, it's the DEI, The DEI fire chief is a woman. She's a lesbian, and Karen Bass did this. Is like, can we argue about the political aspect of this? Could we put the fires out quickly first before we get to the political aspect of it? So yes, it's been a terrible week, but you know, we are still here. We're still happy. We're healthy and we're safe. We did our show in LA Friday still, because people were emailing like, are y'all still doing it? So a lot of people asked for refunds. Of course, I grant every refund, but a lot of people emailed and was like, I really need this laugh. And
asking you if the show was still happening. Do they not know you?
asked, huh?
You yourself could be on fire, but when it's time to make some money, you gonna show up to make that money. I'm like, do they not know Kev on stage?
Maybe if we're gonna be safe, and the show was in Inglewood, so it's one of the areas that was not impacted by fire. And man, one of my favorite moments of the show, a lot of my friends and family showed up. Angel, Marcus, the kids, and they often show up. That's not unusual, but they were sitting on the front row. Usually, the comps that like that you are given are never the best seats in the house. They gonna sell that front row to somebody paying, but because this is independently, I told Greg, put my people close, usually very close, not the front row. This front row was what I call the Roblox gang. That is Marcus's son, Marcus. I will no longer refer to him as little Marcus. That is just Marcus, the child, Marcus the second. He's not really in the Roblox gang, but he's one of the children. But this is who was on the row. Aria, Quinn's daughter, Roblox gang. Denora's daughter, what's her name again? Rhea. I always forget. Rhea's Roblox gang. Kai and Sai, and Amar, Roblox gang. Amar was not in attendance. He had a Republican Senate committee hearing, I believe. And Kai and Sai were there. McKinley and Micaiah. She's not in Roblox gang either. She's a little bit too young. She'll eventually be in. So they're all sitting on the front row. Josh got some pictures of these kids. You might have thought a clown was there, the way they are laughing. Like, you would think that the jokes were specifically for them, the way they were I mean, they are laughing, and they was talking about the show with each other as the way the adults was talking about it, like their favorite parts. I said Roblox to them. I was like, Roblox. They were just like, we know that. It was so great, man. It was so good to have. I had about 30 people in my dressing room. And I'm going to post a clip that I prophesied for Marcus and Angel. It's my next video that I'm posting. Angel was in rare form, as she is always. I got Tab and Chance, which I already posted, which was great. I got Tank. It was just great. I was really excited about the show because Angel and Marcus and Quinn and Tab and them have all seen me perform. The Angels pulled up to Keep Your Distance. We performed together, obviously. Tank been in a lot of shows. Quinn been in a lot of shows. But the churchy production crew, they also came to the show. And a lot of them had never seen me perform. And they were like, oh my God. I had no idea. And this show is, not to toot my own horn, it is a fun show. It is a really fun. It is clean. Me and Josh, I got a reel to post from Josh too. I was going back and forth about how to market the show. And I hesitate to market the churchiness of it because I don't want people who are not churchy to think it's not for them. But I think it's best described as, even if you've been to church one time in your life, or you have the concept of the church, you will have a good time. If you're a Satanist, it might not be for you as a show. You love the devil and serve him with all your heart. Maybe you come to Ball Brothers, Here's the Thing, whatever our next tour is. Too niche. But if so many Black people are church kids, they, get it. Now, is this Full Moon Organizer in here? Erica Wilson, is that you?
Did she come and review the show?
Erica Wilson, is your real name Full Moon Organizer?
Yeah, that's her.
Full Moon Organizer, your name is Erica?
The whole time? It wasn't Full or Moon or Organizer?
Erica, Your name is Erica?
Yeah, her
I didn't
middle
know you
name
were
is
in the
Organizer.
Patreon.
Yes.
Full-blown organizer might be Erica Wilson. This feels like Superman taking his glasses off. Like, yeah, Clark Kent,
He
you got a
goes,
real name.
You got me.
So Erica Wilson, full-blown organizer, is the most supportive stand-up comedy person in LA that I know of. She goes to the shows and she reviews the show. Full-blown organizing, I believe is her Instagram name. She goes to Ball Brothers. She goes to Tony Baker and Friends, Kevin Stage and Friends. She did a review of the show, and she said, my head up under the angel. She said, I was raised Crip, and I had a great time. 25 minutes of the show is me doing jokes that are not related to the church at all, specifically because I wanted people who are not churchy to have a good time. But when I tell you the show is a great time, and this is not like me just being like, it's probably the best version of me as a comedian. It's got all the good things of me, and low key, I appreciate, like, you can see my life in the journeys, which allows this to happen. Like, first, I was a church kid doing stand-up, right? And that was so much of I've always done my life from my vantage point. So when I first did stand-up, I talked about being from church. I talked about getting whooped. Those were the only two things I had when I was 16. I just was like being black, being from church, and my point of view. And then I started doing comedy in the comedy clubs at Nate Jackson Super Funny. And I always did churchy stuff. Nate had a live band all the time. So that was me to me at my best, because I always had the band that I could go to, right? And then when we did Real Comedians, it was great because I was growing and I had a band sometimes. A lot of time, we had a band the second tour. I don't think we had a band the first tour, but we had a band in each different city. And, you know, everybody wasn't raised equally. And then the pandemic allowed me to learn that as a comedian, I'm much better at improv than I thought, because I didn't believe I could do improv, because I'm like a control freak. So I need to know the jokes are good. But with Keep Your Distance, I couldn't generate that material fast enough. So I had to host on the fly. So I got better at that. There's a time in my life where I was like, I don't want to do no church jokes. I got to prove to these comedians that I can do it without a church joke. And I did a whole tour of that. And then Here's the Thing tour, I just was like, Angel helped me be like, Kev, because Angel will tell you, I was trying to build a set knowing that our podcast is like this. And Angel and I were on the same page, like, it doesn't need to be, neither of us wanted to do a sit down in 2 chairs and talk to people. That's just boring. So we created a show where, again, if you're a Here's the Thing fan, you're going to have an amazing time. But if you just want to have a good time, you will have a good time. But even that time, I learned, people will actually because I've never performed, and we talked about a serious subject. And I'm like, if I'm on stage, you need to be laughing. Angel was like, I think people will enjoy the way they do a podcast, whatever's the thing. And it's the truth. We found our jokes and all that. And then
it's January, y'all. This is the time that we take to recover from all the hustle and bustle from the holidays. And baby, I surely hustled and I bustled. After all the holiday spending, the start of the new year can feel like a hangover for your credit. But if you can get things back on track for 2025 and start building your credit today with Kickoff, the #1 credit building app on the App Store, wouldn't that just be amazing? Their plans start at just $5 a month, and there's no credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. Listen, the credit building process can be daunting. So this is why I love Kickoff, because it helps you build credit fast. There's so many things that I feel like you all would absolutely love about it. There are amazing features, but the thing that I love is that there's no credit check, because baby, listen, if I'm trying to build my credit, don't make me feel self-conscious out the gate, okay? If I'm trying to build my credit, don't have me spending money on stuff that I didn't know even existed, like these hidden fees. These are the things that I know you will love. If your credit is under 600, you can jump like 28 points in your first month. Kickoff is a smart, legit credit hack with no catch, no credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. It's simple. You make on-time payments. Credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit grows fast. Start building credit immediately for only $1 your first month. With AutoPay, you never have to worry about missing a payment, so you can build credit in your sleep. Sign up in minutes from your phone, no credit check, cancel anytime. Kickoff is the #1 credit building app out there. It has over 100,000 positive reviews on the App Store, and 98% are 5-star. That's amazing. Shake off the credit hangover and look forward to a brighter credit with Kickoff. Get your first month for just $1 at getkickoff.com/SK today. That's 80% off. Kickoff without the C. Get KIKOFF.com/SK. Must sign up via kickoff.com/SK to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only, subject to approval, offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0. Changes for Kickoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside of Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
Leaving an agency, or I'll tell you this story later, kind of being pushed out of an agency for starting this churchy tour. Maybe I'll save that full story for the bonus. Remind me, and I'll tell y'all that full story. A lot of my close friends know, but I don't want to put that publicly, but I will tell y'all. But not having a promoter and not having an agent allowed me to carry a live band and a singer with me. And I wouldn't have had the resources to do that and pay a promoter and pay my agency. It just would have been too expensive of a show. So having a band that can try, and Alton Walker just being a comedian that can play the drums as a church kid was just a blessing. Right. So now I have basically a band and a singer, and this is me with everything. Even here's the thing: if we had the money, we would have been able to, we had a keyboard player and Josh is DJ player, but we ain't really have the money to carry a full band,
right? Because
it's expensive. It's traveling those people, housing them, it's just expensive. And since I don't have to pay a Live Nation or an agent, I now have money to put into the band. That's why I feel like this show is me at my full powers, because it has everything that makes me me.
Yeah.
In a show. And I wish I could do it all the time. Here's the thing, tour would have been even better if we could have had a full band and singers. But it just wasn't in the budget. So
I say this, Kevin, that was the most effortless I've seen you on stage. And I've seen you on stage. That was the most. I was like, this nigga looked like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, like he could have just rolled out of bed and did this. Angel, and the show was still great.
I'm so glad you said that, because I felt almost guilty, because I'm like, this is not hard.
No, I could tell. I was
because I'm in my element. It's not requiring stand-up is work. But this is I'm so glad you said that, Angel, because it's so true. Like, I feel like I am the show setup. It plays to my strengths the most, and I'm not doing any of my weaknesses, and I don't have to work out this hard material. You don't have, everything has its good and its bad, but stand up, a 45-minute set has to be worked out. It has to be. So you got to go through the cities that you don't sell well and figure it out and all that type of stuff. But I ain't gonna hold you, Angel. I'd be up on stage and I feel like it'd be feeling like all the shots are going in. It just feels like I'm like, oh, this baby, it's good.
Yeah, I can see. I was like, oh, he's not. I was like, this is his zone
of genius. It's literally, I needed, me, I got a big head and it's hard. I needed to have all of those experiences to come all the way back to life.
You can see them though. You can actually kind of see each experience dropped in there of how this is how the show came together.
If you ever been a follower of me and watch all that stuff, and that's the blessing of life. Like, everybody in your life pours in and you learn. If you are smart, you should be learning and taking the good from the bad. But like, that's the part of life that's beneficial, is like, it shows in your art. It shows in your relationships. You should be better. I'm a better comedian at 41 than I was at 21 or 31. But you get good, and that's why most of the good comedians are not young. Most of them have had life experiences. So yeah, that's why I say if you see this show, you will see an amazing show. I want to post this reel. I might just post it today. Because Josh captured it really well. And I when I have good content, it just burns a hole in my phone. It's just the truth about me. It burns a hole in my phone. And I want y'all to see what Joshy worked on. He worked really hard on it. And it really encapsulates the first weekend of the shows and the show. And the audience was great. So I'm gonna post that today. I was trying to edit it because for Facebook ads, it's not effective more than 30 seconds. They just show it to less and less people. The shorter it is, the more places it can fit in.
I can make a 30-second version if you need 30 seconds.
No, man, but creatively, I like to get in there and tinker.
Okay.
I like to, but if you tinker, then I can tinker from your tinker.
Go crazy, King.
But if you could give me a 15-second version, that would be great.
Okay, now that's
He
but anyway,
put it down.
Let's talk about some other stuff.
Also, go ahead.
Tamra Jade.
Listen,
friend of the pod, stage crew
of the mother effing pod.
Let it off, Kev.
She is such an addition to this show. Mm-hmm. Again, finding her on Instagram with that doggone Donna McClurkin clip. She's in here. Tamra Jade's a friend of the pod.
Microphone's in the chat.
Yes, Tamra,
girl,
she loves being in the Patreon. She said this is a great community.
Oh, we are family up in this community. But this woman is like, she is perfect because she can sing. Lots of people can sing, right? Comedically, she be making me laugh on stage. She's such an addition to the show. Creatively, she comes up with like a lot of our stuff. She will arrange, like the begging that we just posted, she will arrange that. She's music theory. So when we was rehearsing the show, she's telling Ronnie, who's a keyboard player, like, we're trying to figure out how to make this part of the show work. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. And she's like, if you don't know music theory, you might not get this. She was like, chords wise, if you go 4 and you hold on the 6, then we can transition. And I know a little bit music theory because I try to play the piano. And I'm like, oh, you know music for music. So, but then, and also she's just a good doggone time as a person. And on the road, Angel will tell you, and Josh will tell you, when you're on the road with people, if one person has an attitude a lot, it just sucks the life out of everything. Because we're going to be tired. It's going to be some 4 a.m. lobby calls, and it's going to be some flights delayed and all that type of stuff. So it sucks if somebody has a bad attitude. But Tam is great. Y'all, you won't see. When you come see the show, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I see. She was on Black-Based with Angel.
Yeah, that's my girl. That's my boo. Let's not say a lot of people sing, because what she's doing is different than that. This is something. Well, I know a lot of people who can sing. Not a lot of people are Tamra Jade. I'll say that.
Just vocally alone.
Kev was like, I'm gonna use that voice. What you got in there? I'm gonna use that. There was some things Tamra was doing on stage, and I was like, this is dumb. It's like the things that you hear in your head, but can't nobody do that. And Tamra was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Why can't you do that?
Right.
Why can't you do what I'm doing?
Yeah. I
and also, like, comedically, like hosting wise, like that, it's a rare gem. Yeah. One thing about Kev, I feel blessed.
Toot.
I often have this feeling about Angel when we doing this podcast. I'd be like, this nigga is just really good at this. I don't have to bring it every day. I mean, I do my best. But Angel and I'd be feeling like Jordan and Pippen, and some days she's Jordan. I will rebound and defend. I ain't got to score 30 for us to win. Nigga Angel, I'd be like, this nigga's crazy. And on stage as well, here's the thing. So Angel was a
Great
believe we could do it. She told us we could not do the Victoria Monet version because I had shot for the stars a little bit too much.
Oh,
It's like, and I don't know if y'all don't know this. Kevin don't like to rehearse because he got 50 million jobs.
no, he'll
was
rehearse.
so
It'll just be 32 seconds before the show starts. Hey, Angel, can we run through that thing really quick?
I said to Tam before y'all started the tour, I was like, how's the show coming together? You excited? She was like, we have not rehearsed yet. I said, oh, on brand. She said, we're
Here's the
going to
thing,
rehearse.
Tor,
it.
the
We're gonna
Toronto
rehearse
show.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Oh, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was just gonna say, here's the thing, Tor. That Toronto show was the rehearsal.
Baby,
Yes.
we're shooting the rehearsal. I'm gonna
That's
tell you
what I
what
was
it is.
like. Oh, this can work. This is gonna be fun.
We had a full rehearsal for this tour, right? But I hire people who I know are good, and I'm like, oh, you'll get it. Don't you worry about it. We'll get it. And also, I don't have time to do no rehearsals all week, baby girl, baby boy. We gonna do
I
it.
feel
right.
like you see the finished product. You just get there at a different pace. You get there. You get there when game one. Like forget the preseason. Game one, show up on time. We're
You
gonna
know
figure
what
it
it
out.
is? It's literally a runner showing up to the blocks, walking up to the blocks as they're shooting the gun, but then going ahead into a full sprint. Like he never got down into the blocks. He never did the jump up, pull the thing. It's like everybody else is down and he just starts running the blocks. I was like, oh my God. Oh, okay. So yeah, it made me feel good when Ted was like, no, she said our first rehearsal is supposed to be like 2 weeks or like a week before we go on tour. I said, sounds on brand.
Well, Tam also is a professional musician, so she works with legit musicians. They be rehearsing months in advance. Baby girl, I'm 3 projects away. You talking about rehearsal for a tour that started in in January? I'm shooting churchy every day. Right now, baby girl, I'm gonna get to that when I'm done with this here, and then we're gonna go ahead and do it.
And then we're gonna do it. But congratulations on a fantastic tour. My kids absolutely love the show. I was so excited to take them because I don't get to take them to comedy shows, but they all love comedy. And Kai was laughing for his life. He could not take it. So many things were so funny to him. Little Marcus loved. He said, I thought it was hilarious, him running around the church. He was like, that was cracking him up. So it was just, and even Marcus turning away from me, or turning to me and being like, I'm saying to him, Kevin's going to grab your head. He was like, no. Kevin already put his weight on me. He ain't going. And then all of a sudden, whop! I said, I told you.
Yo, I'm gonna post this clip literally as soon as we finish this podcast. When I go downstairs and give you something,
You see Angel saying, "I told you he was gonna do it."
Do you? Let me download it now because it wasn't available when you sent it first.
Oh, I can airdrop it to you in the car too. Whatever.
No, baby. I'm gonna download it right now. You feel me?
Tell
Tab brought her. She brought her kids.
Choice Quest
game. Laughing, it was great, and that's the other part of the show. I wanted you to be able to bring your kids and your grandma, because that's the part of the Playmakers. Before we had the Playmakers, our group was called the Changing Generation Productions, and our goal was to be able to do productions where you could bring your grandma and your kids all in one, and everybody would have a good time. So yeah, all right.
My mother had a great time too. My mother was about. Sorry, I'm gonna stop talking. My mother was gonna change the atmosphere though. So she did good because she was going to change your comedy show into a real worship session.
She almost got into it. I saw her in the first couple songs.
Yeah.
Mama Dorothy's actually shooting churchy tomorrow.
She's so.
Are you coming, Angel, or is you gonna leave it to her own devices?
As her manager and agent, it would behoove me to be on set with her.
Okay, good.
Make sure she understands. Also, just so she can understand what the heck is going on. But she ready. She's like, oh, so we going. I said, that's right. Give him that. Give him the She was like, okay, I got it. She ready. She's ready. And she goes into character randomly.
They should not have let me do this and be able to hire who I want, because I'm going to put my people in for my own. I was telling somebody on set, I said, I want the stage crew. The rest of the audience might not know who these people are. Like when you see Josh in there, you're just gonna be like, oh, this guy's just an actor. When you see Angel's mom, if you don't know them, you'll just be like, oh, this is just older woman in the show. But if you are stage crew, you're going to be like, oh, that's Kai and Sai, that's Amar, that's Angel, that's Josh, that's Angel's mom, that's Liz. But if you don't know anybody, you can just watch the show and like it. But you're going to see Zay and Joe. And that, for me, it's like, I can't believe I'm able to do. It's like Adam Sandler when he puts all his friends in stuff.
Yes.
I love that. Judd Apatow and Adam Sandler. I'm like, why black people don't get that opportunity to do that at that level? Because Judd Apatow got his daughter in, his wife be in. Adam Sandler, there's some people that work with Adam Sandler that I never see them outside of movies with him. I just only see them working with him. So Mekhi was in season 1, McKinley's in season 2. All of Angel's kids are in season 2. Angel's mom, Marcus, is in season 2. Melissa, Isaiah, Josiah.
My daddy's in there. You didn't realize it because you haven't met him. My daddy's in it. I said, Daddy, how you get up in here? He was like, shh.
He in there talking about the price of eggs.
Absolutely. So no, she's gonna bring it. She's excited. She's like, I'm trying to be word perfect. I said, this is not that show. I said, we're gonna get you to where you feel comfortable with what's in your brain so that you can flow. So
Tab was in this churchy. We were supposed to originally shoot it and be done before she had hip surgery. When the schedule shifted a couple of times, she was like, what if we just make me have crutches before my surgery? And then when I actually have crutches, it'll make sense. That's how committed she was being. Y'all know Angel is busy. I am busy. Tab is busier than both of us.
Busy.
She is managing. And I, as a busy person, I'd be like, so when she had to move her schedule countless times at this point, she was like, I got you. I'll do this. I'll move this. Like, people showed up for me for this in a way that only if you have good people around, because you have this. Keith Lee is shooting tomorrow. He was like,
oh, he's shooting with the same day as my mama.
He's shooting the same day as your mom. He's flying in. His wife's gonna be in, and she loves acting. She's like, Kev, do you think there's any roles? Because I went to school for acting, and I was like, baby girl, yes, you gonna be. And then we had that dog on fire, so she wasn't supposed to be in because they had to go home. They had the snowstorm in Dallas. We rewrote her back in a different role to shoot tomorrow. So yeah, it's a blessing. It's great. I can't wait. Do y'all want to touch on a couple of the other things before we close? Because I only got like 15, 20.
Yes, whatever. Come on, let's give him something.
All right. So, Josh, it might not make sense to title this "Who is Megan Thee Stallion?" We'll come up with the title.
Fire, Lord.
Fire. So let's talk about this white woman who pretended that she didn't know who Megan Thee Stallion was.
Dating the Megan. Was it the Megan Stallion? What's her name? Megan Thee Stallion. Megan. I'm just calling her Megan. Who's Megan? Who's Mag? I don't know.
I wonder what his type is because you guys dated that he was talking to other girls when he was talking to you, and like they all look like you guys. So I'm just curious what his type is.
Dating the Megan. Was it the Megan Stallion?
So if you don't understand what's happening, somebody named Corey Craig, I think he's a basketball player. Do y'all know?
Yes, as a sports analysis, he is.
I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't know who he was. I think
he's a player. He plays basketball.
He's now dating Megan Thee Stallion, apparently. So his previous girlfriend was on a podcast with her friends, pretending to not know how to pronounce the name Megan. Mm-hmm. And I want you to know, as a white woman, I can buy a lot of things from you. There's a lot of lies that I can buy. And I understand you're upset, you're hurt, you're frustrated. But what I can never buy is, one, you don't know who Megan Thee Stallion is. And two, you don't know how to pronounce the name Megan. Megan is a pronounceable name. You thought Mag? What is it, Mag? You don't know who Meg? Yeah, Sherry, for real. As a person whose name is Kevin, I don't have a name that's often mispronounced. You know, people, the whole Kev on stage thing brings a lot of mispronunciations and confusion. But living my life as Kevin, nobody was ever like Kevin. Well, Sister Lewis, growing up in El Paso, she was just old and black. She just was convinced my name was Calvin. She didn't. She called me Calvin. Calvin. That's how she used to say it. It's one of my brother's favorite jokes. He used to say. He hasn't said it in a while. He used to be like, "Hey, Calvin." What, Josh? He hasn't.
Why would you say that?
He hasn't.
I can't stand you.
Why?
Do you only play Godspeed?
No.
Yes, and do it to yourself because you put us here.
Calvin.
And I hope the button gets stuck and you can't turn it off.
Angel, if that happened, I would be bloodshot. I will always love you.
Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved, ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh, fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor's keto meals. Based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto, results will vary depending on diet and exercise. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, grab and go snacks, and more add-ons. Reach your health goals this year. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. Let me tell you, I'm actually using Factor meals right now. I had this chicken risotto meal a couple of minutes ago, probably like an hour ago, actually. Baby, that thing was good. Then the green beans were amazing. The little onion pearls, chef's kiss. And then the chopped up chicken breast with the risotto was seasoned to perfection. I could go on and on about several of their meals because I love them all. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/SK50off and use code SK50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code SK50off at factormeals.com/SK50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you.
I can't stop it. You know, her not being able to pronounce Meg's name, that didn't bother me because I could tell it was a joke. Not a great written joke, but a joke nonetheless of like, Mag, they should call her Megan. What was funny to me was them trying to find a polite way to have the conversation of, well, she's nothing like you all, so what is his type?
That's what was cracking me up. Like, girl, she's Meg Thee Stallion. Obviously, if you have a chance with her, you take it.
Yeah,
maybe he dated white women in the past, but if Megan Thee Stallion is an opportunity, baby, I have a new type. You understand?
Exactly. You were what he could get. Now this is what he's able to have. You understand? There's a difference. At one point in time, I used to love the ramen noodles at the grocery store.
Yeah,
because that's what I could get. Now I love some good fresh oysters. You know, I love things now that I can get that are up here.
Listen, Angel, I tasted SpaghettiOs. I was babysitting my niece one time about 6 years ago. We made her some SpaghettiOs just out of sheer, I don't even know why I did it. I tasted those and I said, either these have changed or I have changed. Because at one point in my life, I ate the little dehydrated meatballs in there and loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you gave me SpaghettiOs right now, you might as well throw them at my head and try to murder me because you don't love me.
Yeah, because there's a difference between what your taste is and what you can afford. Bingo. And they're seeing his taste versus what he used to be able to afford.
But the belittling, it doesn't work when you're Meg Thee Stallion. It's just like, white people love to not pronounce your name. It doesn't work when the name's Megan. And one of the common try to big homie somebody is pretend you don't know who they are. But again, you don't know who Megan Thee Stallion is. Come on, baby girl. Just say you're hurt and it's okay. That's fine. But y'all gather y'all podcast equipment together and said, we'll show her or him. I don't know who.
That dirty kitchen.
But trust me, that it didn't play. It didn't play.
It's just, I think when you are a skinny waif of a woman like those white ladies are, they're the wafy white ladies. You are a lot of times raised to believe you are the standard of beauty, right? Now, there are Black women who are also considered the standard of beauty, but a lot of others believe that is just within our culture, and that is with Black men who don't have access to the wafy white women.
Yeah.
No, there are Black men who they might traverse over to Wahite land. But I'm gonna tell you what, can't nobody touch the baddest of the bad of ours. It don't matter if you traversed over there multiple times. When it comes to a Halle Berry, when it comes to a Meg Thee Stallion, when it comes to Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, when it comes to some of the baddies we have, it does not matter if you like a good old what's that, Courtney Cox back in the day when she was considered. Well, what's that other white lady that was on the show with her?
Jennifer Aniston.
If it doesn't matter if you love a Jennifer Aniston, you are not going to turn down a Nia Long. That's what you love.
This is hilarious. What's so good about her? She's hot, popular, can dance. She's rich and well liked, tall, pretty. I mean, outside of that, I don't get it. I tried to find the comment, but somebody in here said that she was dancing to Meg's Stallion music TikToks and singing along.
Yeah, it was just all a joke. She knew who she was.
1000% she knew. Also, I love this comment. Look at Russell Wilson, married Greg Big Mouth White. Married Sierra. That girl, that his fiance, when he got drafted, and she's just like, it's just the worst picture of her.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. And they end up getting dragged. And there's one of my favorite pastimes is watching people post a video that they were certain was going to go one way and watching it go a total different way. And them being like, wow, I didn't see that for me. Like, you thought people were going to be like, yeah, who was that? They were like, all right, now.
I think they thought people would think their joke was funnier than what it was. And we were like, hang on, girl. Yes. It ain't that funny. It's not funny. Calm down.
Yes. All right. In other news, I just thought this was interesting. Meta, Facebook, Instagram Threads will be terminating all major diversity, equity, and inclusion programs effective immediately. I don't think this is news to Black people. I don't think, maybe it is. This is not news to me. I think the I'm sorry, Black people money that happened during the pandemic and after George Floyd, we all knew that this was all a dog and pony show.
Yes.
That would, and low key, for influencers, a lot of us were getting like brand deals from companies that did not look our way before, but that started drying up that year.
Mm-hmm.
And all that big show, I never thought that was going to be a long-term thing. The people going to be hired who they want to be hired. One thing that I think is, I'll say funny, it's not the perfect phrase, but it's funny to me. White people think when they're saying DEI hire, what they are saying almost every time is that the default position, that the person that is good at it is a white man. And when that person they say married, but what they really mean is anytime that person is not a white man, the DEI as an insult means, well, you didn't pick the best person. The fact that you think that a white man is the default good person for a job every time lets us know everything you think about white people. Affirmative action, DEI, all that really ever truly was supposed to do was make other people be able to have a shot because the default is almost always a white man for every job.
I have been watching Mr. Beast games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time where in one episode, these 4 teams had to choose a team captain.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not surprising, but it was just like, I don't even think these people see it. That 3 of the 4 teams chose white, cisgender, and I'm pretty sure straight men. One team
Mm-hmm.
chose a black woman. And I was like, they're not even having a moment to see why is this? Why are you all choosing? Because it's not like they had to have a skill set. The team captain didn't have to be this like agile, athletic person. No, it's just somebody that you trust.
Mm-hmm.
That was the word.
Yep.
Somebody that you trust will not sell you under the bus. The fact that all these people chose white men, and not only that, when it was time for the next challenge and they had to put people, a person would get a ticket to get on a helicopter, and then that person had to give tickets to other people. They watched
Mm-hmm.
time and time again. A white man would get the ticket and he would choose other white men.
Yep.
I said, what about history makes you think that these are the people that we are supposed to be trusting in any situation? Any.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, people keep thinking this, that they're most
Absolutely.
talented, the most trustworthy, the ones that have the best leadership.
And I will say, just in my experience in my actual life, if I look back at the employees that I've worked with, worked under, hired, who trained me, if I think back of who excelled, and I'm not even being funny, I think I can think of one white dude who was good. He was a good trainer at Boeing. And I didn't have any black people on my direct team. So I didn't have another opportunity to work with anybody else. Black woman made sure I got the interview and hired me, but I didn't report to her. But other than that, when anytime a person has excelled, it has not been a white man who I'm like, dang, that person is killing it. It's been a woman most of the time, and it's been a black woman almost all the other time. I say this all the time. At All Def, the best person there, the best producer I ever worked with is Meg Scoop. And it was so interesting. Her counterpart was a white dude. She was a better producer than him by and large, but he was a good producer. And they acted very similar. And Meg's the B word, and he's just tough. Oh man, he doesn't take no stuff. Meg was much more cordial, but 10 times the producer. And mostly that was white dudes saying that was the rumors about her. But anyway, my whole point of saying all that, people who excelled in class, in school, at jobs, mostly black women in my life, and also women. It hasn't been a white dude who I'm like, man, that person is just a hard worker, he's smart, leads. It just hasn't been the case. But they're gonna get that opportunity time and time again. And when they fail and when they're bad and when they're not good at their job, they're gonna get the chance over and over and over again, especially in production. That's the one thing. In production, they're gonna get time, they're gonna get chance after chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. Black people, when they mess up, that's it. You don't get an opportunity. It's like the head coach of the Patriots. They hired him for 1 year, fired him, and went and hired the white dude they wanted the whole time. You heard about that, of course, Angel, as our resident sports.
I was following that story for a while.
They went and hired Mike Vrabel, and I'm not even saying he's not a good coach, but don't hire the black dude for 1 year just to fire him with no real shot. The team was bad. It was going to be bad if you hired Bill Walton or anybody. Not Bill Walton. Who's the Walton dude? Whoever was the coach of the 49ers. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, it's Coach Walton. You said the 49ers, right?
Yes. What is his name?
That's what. Coach Walton.
What is his name? It is Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh. Thank you, Mac.
Bill Walsh.
Bill Walton is he was a basketball player. But anyway, I said all that to say, they didn't give that man a shot at all. And they hired who they wanted to hire. Anyway, let's move on. The last thing I want to say, we talked about this a little bit with Jaimon Hunsu. He said he didn't make no money. We talked about with the rich thing. So the honey, the thing that we did many an ad for turned out to be a scam. So if you don't remember, honey was a thing you added to your checkout, and it was supposed to scan the internet for all the coupons and stuff, and then apply them at a discount for you at checkout, right? We did.
It's a scam.
It's a scam.
I kept trying to figure out what honey they were talking about. I was like, what's the honey thing that they're talking about? Honey that's still on my computer?
Honey that's on your computer and it's actually a double scam, right? This is why I don't like affiliate links. When we put our affiliate link in, right, for honey, they would not apply. If people actually went and clicked on it because they watched Here's the Thing, they would not properly attribute our affiliate code to those purchases at all, which is how podcasts earn money. They you got to report the clicks and stuff. So when people did it, they would not report it. And they also, honey would, they use real YouTubers like Mr. Beast. I looked it up, Marquise Brownlee. He's the black tech guy, really big YouTuber. He was talking about, because he did honey too. And they basically did not pay creators accurately when they use their thing. And then on the flip side, when they would find a code to use, if the company paid honey and they had a 50% code, they would only show a 10% code. So they were screwing the creators and then also screwing the customer on the back end and keeping the money both times.
Talking about they scouring the internet. You doing a Google search. See, that's what I used to do before honey. I would just go, if I was getting ready to buy something online, I'd be like, let me open up another tab. Are there any Crate and Barrel coupons? That's all they did.
Yeah, me too, Jamelia. I figured they were just stealing data, like the good American way. You steal my data in exchange for the free product.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
they were full on scamming. So people were asking, what are we going to do? I don't think we've had a honey ad in a while. Obviously, we didn't know about this. I hate that affiliate. We've talked about this before on this podcast. I hate that you even have to click a link to track my progress, because I can hear about something. You can hear about something on this podcast and not sign up using our link. You can hear about Native, for example, on our podcast, and you can see it in Target and buy it. And there's no tracking that comes back to us. That happened with a lot of stuff. If that product's available other places, just like a TV commercial, you don't know which McDonald's commercial made you want to try the new burger. So you shouldn't.
Like they spending all this money to track us. Do you understand how much money they put in commercials? They put in millions upon millions of dollars. They are not asking that casting network. They're not asking the marketing executives.
Right.
You know what? You need to track your link to see how many people, when their eyes watched the TV screen, got up and went and bought our thing. It's like you're not paying more than, let's say, for a lot of the big black podcasts, you're not paying like $4,000 per ad read. You're not even doing that. You're not
putting all this pressure on this little podcast.
you are paying maybe a few thousand, and for the like smaller podcasts, you're paying a few hundred per ad read, and you need to track it. Really?
Listen,
really?
This is why I say all the time, and it's no hyperbole, this podcast would not continue without Patreon. At the current pay rates and scale, it'd be over. Podcasting ad revenue has not been a way to pay Josh and Angel for almost 2 years. This podcast is supported by viewers like you. If I didn't have Patreon, I would be shaking Angel's hand, shaking Josh's hand, and I would be closing this laptop because it would be over. And that wasn't the case all the time. Like before, there was enough ad money to pay Angel and Josh, but it ain't. It's viewers like you who support this podcast. The only reason Angel is consistently paid The same thing she was paid during the pandemic when the ad money was good is because of viewers like you. If it was not the case, it wouldn't be the case. Because of stuff like this, they started with podcasts, and it's part of the also just the benefit. It's actually, I said this before, it's because this podcast is so long standing. Eventually, the ads just don't sell. They're not effective anymore when you have the same viewers. And we be saying niggas, so YouTube doesn't give us money either.
We sure do.
That's unfortunately on the ad agency as well, because they keep bringing the same damn brands, and it's just like, babies, y'all got to diversify because if people are already done.
Y'all might have to go convince people to do podcast ad. You can't just take the money for the people who already want to do it. You might have to get out there and beat your feet.
Speaking of podcast ads, I should have did some.
We should have, but we'll do them during the week when Greg sends them.
You should have. We didn't even think about it till right now.
I was like, this is not a bonus. That's in my head because we're virtual. I'm like, this is a bonus.
We should do that.
Kevin, don't be a jackass. You're like those white women. Who is that? Mag the Stallion? Mag the Stallion? Oh my God.
People keep asking for something. It's over, baby. I just want to say this too. And I'm going to keep saying it every time I feel it. This community is really important to me because when I was setting the time, y'all were like, ain't y'all, Kevin, do you sure you want to do this? Because of the fires and stuff. It is never lost on me the actual care y'all have for our actual lives, danger and stuff. It really means a lot that it never feels like a transactional relationship, that you guys always care about the people behind the entertainment. Because one of the things that is very hard about being a content creator, a performer, and all that type of stuff, you do often have to work when your life's falling apart, right? You can be arguing with your husband, your wife, your kids could be sick. You know, when I was, Melissa was like, Kev, I need you to come home. Like, I'm scared. Tab and them's, your people are texting you, and we have to, like, a lot of times we have to work through undue stress. So anytime you guys are like, if y'all need to take a week off, that's good. It really is a good reminder that we don't have to be like, you know what I'm saying? If we really couldn't shoot, I know y'all would understand. And that's not the same. That's not the same community a lot of creators have. I have a lot of creators who feel like their audience is not understanding about them as a person. And maybe because I don't know what we've built, but y'all see the people, and it's just never lost on me that we have that here. So thank y'all for that. God bless you. God keep you. We'll update you on when we shoot. We'll shoot the bonus sometime while we're in Florida, maybe Friday, or I'm not sure, maybe Friday or Saturday, but we'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, we do need to talk about it. God bless you.
Bye.
Here's another bang of fire. Here's another one. Here's another bang of fire. Here's another one. Here's another bang of fire. Fire. Here's another bang of fire. With my boy Kev on stage, and that chick Angel.